Hey, so today I want to talk about being stressed. I want to talk about having actually let's go here. So, no matter what I say, whatever story I tell, whatever, I just want to say this first. No matter what I say and no matter what I share, it's all because of the grace of God, the grace and favor of God. So let me just say that first and foremost. So I'm going through something right now. It's a little challenging. It's a little difficult, and I felt like while I'm going through this, I need to speak to people that might need to hear whatever it is that I have to say, so that I'm not speaking from I've been through this, but that I'm actually going through this now. And I won't really go into what it is, but it's a pretty scary thing. It's a pretty stressful thing. It can, lend, anxiety and things of that nature. Because a lot of times that's what happens when things are unknown. You just don't know. And unfortunately, well, no, fortunately for me, in this last year, I have learned over and over again how to release control of the unknown. It's not the easiest thing to do. So don't even get me started thinking, having you think that I'm saying that it's easy. But nothing is easy, is it? Life is not easy. I mean, anything that we want really is really never really easy to obtain. And so I just want to offer some things that I may have, been struggling with over these past couple of days, but some things that I know for sure. When you have faith, well, actually, no, forget that part first. Let's go here. If you think, and I'm talking to myself as well, if you think back to all of the things that you've been through, all of the trials and tribulations and things of that nature. And let's just say you didn't even have, you didn't have any faith, you didn't have anything, person, entity that you believed in. But didn't you get through it though? Didn't you get through it? Like just think on that for a second. Let that marinate. You got through it though. So if you're a non-believer, somehow, some way you got through it, right? And for those believers, God brought you through that, right? And so, whatever it is that you're going through right now, what makes you think that He won't bring you through this? These are the exact same questions that I've had to ask myself over the past couple of days. Like, what makes you think? What are we doing here, right? Hey, like, if He got you through that, then He'll get you through this. So, in other words, um, I'll just talk about some things that I have personally gone through in this maybe yeah just personally gone through period. So you know I lost my firstborn um, several years ago, over 10 years ago. um, but I'm not crazy. I didn't commit suicide. I um, i made it. I made it i made it through that excruciatingly difficult time in my life, and I'm here, right? I'm here. And I'm not just here like as a shell. I'm here on purpose, living purposefully. That is amazing. That is amazing. And so, I don't know, several years ago, well, not several years ago, but yeah, it still has been several years ago. I was, yeah, I'll just give you an example about something really bad that happened. Uh, I was I drove to my son's football game one day, And it was raining really bad. This is in Atlanta. It was raining really bad. We were on the outskirts of Atlanta though. And, I didn't know where I was going. We were going to some private school or whatever where the kids were playing. And I got there early. I got there even before the bus got there with the football players. So I decided, gosh, if it's gonna rain out here, let me go get a poncho. Let me go. We've got these phones, right? So let me see if I can find a Walmart or something around here. And so I looked on my phone. There was a Walmart nearby. Um, I don't know, maybe about 15 minutes away. And the game wasn't starting anytime soon because, again, I was there early. So drove to Walmart, picked up a couple of things, even went to another store that was like in the same little shopping center or whatever. And I realized, oh, I need to get gas and I probably won't have enough gas to get back to the Vinings, right? So let me get some gas. So I stopped to get gas. I don't even remember what gas station was. Maybe it was a QT racetrack, whatever. And get out of my car and put my card in, go to the pump. And as I'm getting ready to put the pump, I mean, I'm sorry, as I'm getting ready to put the pump in my car drives off. My car drove off so fast. I could see the silhouette of someone in the driver's seat. And they drove off so fast that I thought that they were going to go like straight into the street or whatever. And I just kind of stood there for a second. Like, what just happened? What just happened? And so what I'm describing to you is that my car was stolen, right? And for the most part, most people would think, "Oh my God, that's like the worst thing ever." Like I can't, like I didn't have my purse. My purse was sitting on the front seat of the car. I didn't have my phone. My phone was in the car. Like I didn't have anything with me. But I got through that. I got through that so well. Now there were lots of things that happened in the in between, right? The person that was uh, pumping her gas next to me, she saw everything that happened. She drove me to the school. Like all kinds of favor happened, right? But at the time, nobody's thinking about grace and favor and God and all this other stuff. I'm just like, what in the world? Like, how do I call? How do I get here? What do I do? Blah, 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 all this other stuff, right? But I got through that. And even in that instance, I was blessed with a car. You know, every time that I try to tell a bad story, to be honest with you, every time I try to tell a bad story, in my head, the reason why I keep like pausing is because all I can think about is how blessed I was, how covered I was, how protected I was. That story could have turned out all kinds of ways. I literally was naive, right? I wasn't looking at my surroundings. I wasn't paying attention. My mind was like, oh, let me hurry up. I spent too much time in Walmart. I stopped at this other store. Let me hurry up and get back to the game. Like, that's what I was thinking about. I was not surveying my surroundings. I didn't even know where I was. I ended up being in Union City, which apparently is like one of the worst places to get your car jacked. Like it's just a given that's going to happen, right? But I had no idea where I was. I don't live in that area, so I had no idea. But all I can think about is how that story could have been worse. That story could not be told because something could have happened to me where I was no longer here anymore. But I am telling the story, and it did work out in my favor. And that is what I'm talking about. When you think back, just think back to something horrible or something bad, or maybe not even that stretch of imagination. But didn't you get through it though? Didn't you get through it? And so, in this instance, if you are stressed, if you are going through something, if you are depressed, if you have anxiety, you don't know what's going to happen. I say, give it away. Give it away. Just give it away. Stop. Breathe. And find some time to surrender whatever it is to God. You know, before I got on, I personally listened to some uplifting music, listened to some uplifting words, wrote a couple of notes down, and said that I was just going to simply describe to you some of the things that I do, some of the things that I will do today, some things that I have already done, some things that I did yesterday, the day before, things of that nature. Because maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe it'll help you. Because I don't know what you're going through. You don't know what I'm going through, but we're going through something. Something is challenging us, right? Something is bothering us. Something is stressing us. Something is giving us anxiety. We're worried and we don't know how it's going to turn out. But my advice to you, because it's the same thing that I'm doing for myself, is to give it away. To just give it away. What is that statement they say? What is it? Let go and let God. Let go and let God. So the things that I do is that I talk to God often. And that would be my first advice. Talk to him often. Talk to him every day about whatever. Whatever is bothering you, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever challenges that you have in your life, whatever. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you don't even have to call God God. You can call him whatever you want. None of those little schematics matter. I love how people always get caught up in God and Yahweh and source and universe and all these words and the he, she, it. Like none of that matters. In the grand scheme of things, when you need comfort and protection and favor and grace, are you thinking about the he, she? Are you thinking about the name? Like, does it matter in the grand scheme of things? It doesn't. We don't even have to believe in the same things. There's only one. There's only one. No matter what you call him. So let's get that out of the way. So you don't even have to say him. You can say she. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, call on him, ask him, pray to him every day, talk to him every single day. It just makes me feel better. It makes me feel better, even when I'm going through the worst day, which today could be. I mean, you could say it's one of them, but I've learned not to give it the energy that I used to. I've learned not to allow it to take over my entire day. You just can't let it happen. You just can't. Um, and faith does not mean that everything is going to be easy. Faith just makes everything possible. Everything possible. Everything possible. So yeah, no one said that this thing called life was going to be easy. I'm just maybe asking you to add some faith in there because it makes it possible. It makes it possible. Um, Let me see. I wrote some other stuff down. So this is another thing too, because this is something that I had to learn, and I listened to this statement over and over again, read about it, studied it, things of that nature. So James chapter 4, verse 3 says, "You have not because you ask not." And so in the very beginning, I was just like, I don't understand. But in the very beginning, I didn't understand because I wasn't really like going to God as if I was asking him anything. I was going to God with all of my problems, all my issues, and things of that nature. There are times where we are praying and asking and things of that nature. But there's also time where we can, do our silent time, or whether that's your meditation time, where you're listening for what God has to say to you. So when you're asking, you're petitioning. And I heard this one time where someone said, don't ask for little stuff. Like, I think my coach said this one time, like, don't ask for car repairs, ask for a new car. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask for $100, ask for $1,000, ask for $5,000. Like, ask, like, up your ask, up your ask, up your ask. All things are possible. All things are possible. All things are possible. And one thing that I definitely believe and have to remind myself of, not all the time, not as much as I used to, but one thing that I have to remind myself of is our whole success in our dreams, desires, goals, things of that nature can be simplified and tied into our relationship with God. I have been studying prosperity teachers. Joseph Murphy is one of my favorites. And when I look back, and as I'm studying all of these wonderfully, obviously prosperous people, but there also were men and women of God as well. But all of them talk about, and it all goes back to, all success principles go back to God. Everything does. Everything does. So just take that in. If you don't have a relationship, you're missing something. If you're not building a relationship, you're missing something. And you're always going to be missing something. To simplify everything, just get in touch with Him. I've made several videos about it, and let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. If you need some help, some guidance, some mentorship, some accountability, things of that nature, it is not easy in the very beginning, but you have to begin somewhere, right? Because that's the only way that you can get to the next step. You have to start. And let me just say something, because I say this all the time, but I am going to pull out this prayer because I started with something just this simple. It wasn't this prayer, but I have in my notebook the 23rd Psalm. I have it. I don't need to read this. Like, I know it by heart, but I read it every day because it's a special, it's special because it tells me what each line represents. And I love reading it and looking at the representation of what it is that I'm saying every day. You building a relationship with God, you talking to God, you praying to God, you meditating, whatever it is that you're doing, even if you're reading books, you're exercising, whatever you're doing. I'm talking about a morning routine right now. Whatever you're doing is only going to enhance your life. It's only going to bring success into your life. It's only going to make your life better. That's it. That's all. All you have to do is start. And nothing is going to happen overnight. So save that. This cookie cutter society that we live in, it doesn't exist. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing. But why not start? Why not take the leap? Why not try it? All you can do is say, oh, it didn't work. But it will if you work it. The work works if you work it. So again, no matter what you hear me say, no matter what story I tell, even the little carjacking story or whatever, just, put the little quotes around it because of the grace of God. Everything works out. Everything. And everything works out not in your favor, not the way that you would want it to, but the way that it's divinely supposed to work out. And that is something else that you have to accept, that you are not in control. God is in control. But whatever it is that you are dealing with, going through, stressed out, just trying to figure out what's going to happen, surrender. Surrender and pray. And even if you say something as simple as this, the 23rd Psalm, or you say the Lord's Prayer, whatever it is you do, it doesn't matter. Just do something. Just do something. Just do something. Faith without works is dead. So I don't know if this is what you were expecting, but these are the kind of messages that I deliver. I just want to encourage you that all is well and that whatever is going on is going to work itself out. I don't care what it is. And I'm talking to myself right now. Whatever is going on is going to work out in your greatest and highest good. In your greatest and highest good. In your greatest and highest good. So, if anything that I said in this video, resonated with you, is what you needed to hear, let me know. Let me know. Put a heart emoji in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. I mean, I'm going to be here tomorrow. Probably talking about something totally different. Excuse me. What was that? Probably talking about something totally different, but it always is going to go back to God. It's a blessing in my life. So many things I have been through and that he has brought me through is just absolutely amazing. And so I just decided to share that with you. But I do want to implore you I know that a lot of times we go to other people, other places, go to other things, whether they be things that are not good for us, drugs, drinking. And I don't think, as long as it's done in moderation, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to do it for you. Nothing's going to do it for you. A lot of those things are only temporary. And whatever it is that's bothering you and whatever it is that you're going through is going to still be there when you come out. I just implore you to try it. Talk to God often. Talk to him every day. Talk to him often and talk to him every day. Remember, faith does not make it easy. Faith makes it possible. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening to me. Have a great one.